Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And the time has come.
Yes, the time has come.
We actually did sit through Masters of the Universe Revelation Part 2. You can thank Geeky for that. I had no desire to watch it.
Oh, and by like halfway through, I'm like, is it over yet? It was pretty bad.
It's not good. I'm putting it mildly. We're gonna talk about it.
Wait a minute, I just want to let you know before we're gonna do spoilers, but this isn't a spoiler. I have a new drinking game for you all. Take a shot every time someone cries in the second half of Masters of the Universe Revelation, because if you do, you'll die.
Yeah, there is a lot of crying. There is a lot of crying in this Masters of the Universe show. It tracks given who the showrunner is.
I'm like, we're not kidding.
Just
hold on till you hear some of the things that happen. It's just something. It's something.
It's something else. All right. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, over 241,000 subs. Thank you so much for the support. We do talk a lot about Masters of the Universe, being He-Man and She-Ra fans from way back, and having gotten dragged into a ridiculous Twitter slap fight with Kevin Smith.
Oh, I don't slap. Well, that's not true. I just close my fist.
And, we put some rumors out there that turned out to be pretty much dead on. And Smith called us liars and
well, before we get into it further, if you don't want to hear spoilers, if you want to put yourself through that, just turn this off now, because we're going to spoil the hell out of it.
Oh, yeah.
If you have no desire to watch it, or you just don't give a shit, then keep listening. But otherwise, you can turn it off right now. So if you're still listening, it is on you. Now, I want to point out that you were correct. He-Man does show up in the last episode.
Yeah, we had a couple people write us who had seen screeners and said, yeah, this one has about as much He-Man as the first part. And they were absolutely correct. We only get proper He-Man in the very last episode. All the scenes from the battle, the really kick-ass scenes that they put in the trailer, yeah, it all takes place at the end.
Exact same thing that happened the first time, where you had them in the first episode and that was it.
So we've got a 10-episode series, Masters of the Universe, and He-Man proper is only in the first and last episodes. Lots of Adam, lots of daddy issues.
Oh, yeah, it's Evil-Lyn. Evil-Lyn, like the first half was Tila, this is Evil-Lyn. Oh, Tila is back to being her whiny self off and on. Like, she has to deal with Sorceress being her mom, and then she whines at her mom about the choices her mom made.
Yeah, there are a lot of issues. There's one episode, I forget which, second or third episode, where literally the entire episode is everybody just standing around crying and talking about their family relationships. Adam is so sorry that his parents almost got divorced because of He-Man.
Oh my gosh, yes. His parents apparently talking to Queen Marlena that they were going to get divorced. Now, it's funny. We were listening to it. I'm like, oh my God, who's doing Marlena? Because she's terrible. Turns out it's Alicia Silverstone. I was like, normally I like you, chick, but this was not your best work. And then, I'm not kidding. The worst part of it all was they had her say "as if," and I'm not kidding. I am completely serious.
The cringe is, oh my God, it's off the charts on this one. So yeah, they're okay. The animation's good. We'll be nice.
And some of the eye-rolling lines, they are eye-rolling, but I think they would have fit in the original. Yeah. There are some ones, there's other ones that you can tell Kevin Smith was all giddy with how clever he was, and it wasn't very good. They were trying to say, they had Skeletor saying, I was embedded like a tick. And it sounded like he said, I was embedded like a dick.
Oh, that's okay, because we get to that point, too.
He apparently was in her staff, sucking off her power the entire time.
Sucking off of her power, yes. And that is the underlying theme of this season, is that Skeletor is nothing without Evil-Lyn. They're in an abusive relationship.
Right. Evil-Lyn has all the real power.
Evil-Lyn's got a backstory in this one, which is one of the worst.
It's pretty bad.
Her parents wanted to eat her, so she ran away from home.
I'm not kidding. It's true.
Her parents wanted to eat her, so she ran away from home and lived with the rats until Skeletor found her.
And they had him in a horde outfit.
That does come into play, yes.
So, yeah, literally her parents were starving, so they were going to eat their child, and they were coming at her with a cleaver and a knife, and so she left and decided to live in the sewers. And suddenly, somehow, she was starting to show power, and Skeletor came and took her and taught her how to use her powers and to fight. And, but it's all about Evil-Lyn's baggage towards Skeletor, Evil-Lyn's baggage towards her parents, Adam's baggage towards his parents, Tila's baggage towards her parents, because we haven't had enough of that in the first half. And now, and Savage He-Man just goes around killing people willy-nilly, kills innocent creatures for no damn good reason.
It's his toxic masculinity.
Oh, and they kill Panther, too, in this, but that wasn't He-Man.
Yeah. Okay, so there's another...
Who doesn't die in this one?
There is another bait and switch, right? Because we were like, we're promised a He-Man show, and we got a Tila show. In this one, we were promised that Skeletor was going to be the big bad, that he had all the power. Oh, no. No. Skeletor willingly gives up his power.
Wait to hear why.
To fuck Evil-Lyn.
Yes!
You heard me correctly.
You said, it's Battle Boner Skeletor.
Evil-Lyn, Skeletor's got the power. He's Skelegod. And Evil-Lyn's like, let's fuck. Well, she doesn't say that, but she basically says it. But hey, wait, you're too powerful.
You might kill me. With your power dick.
So why don't
Battle Boner Skeletor.
Literally. So why don't you turn your power off, baby, and we'll go fuck.
And they literally have her crawl into his lap and make out with him.
Oh yeah, right.
And then she steals so you look, Skeletor, baby, get it, take your power down.
Take your power down.
So you can power up elsewhere.
Yeah. And
then she's in his lap. Okay, and then she makes out with Skeletor to steal the sword so she can become the new He-Man. So we have Adam was He-Man, Skelegod was basically He-Man, and now we got, Evil-Lyn, even though they call her Dark-Lyn or whatever, but I like yours, Evil-Lyn better.
Evil-Lyn, yes.
Evil-Lyn.
So
then she killed everyone in heaven.
That is the big twist, okay? So we predicted that maybe Andra would become He-Man.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't, by the way. We thought that might happen. She doesn't.
She does get promotion, though.
She does. But we said that we turned Evil-Lyn. So we were kind of on the right path. We had the wrong person.
Yes, Evil-Lyn becomes Evil-Lyn, and she becomes very nihilistic, and she looks out into the universe, and she's like, it's just all a bunch of shit, so I'm going to kill everybody.
Yeah, so she raises everyone in Eternia. She kills everyone that's already dead in Eternia. But that was, okay, but first, before we do that, we have to talk about how we had to kill, so we killed everybody twice. But before that, we got Fisto and Clamp Champ, which Clamp Champ is like one of Neon's absolute favorites.
I love Clamp Champ.
We had them for like a couple minutes. But they got turned into the undead, and then they had to blow them up. And they're like, but that's okay. Their souls were good. They went to Eternia. And then Skeletor has their souls in his hands, and he just crushes his them. And then they're gone. He said, I sent them to, wherever the evil place was, to hell. I don't even care.
Heck. They went to heck.
Oh, no, on this show, it's definitely hell, because it's so, just punk rock. It's so
they're actually dead. Like, not only did we kill them, but I snuffed out their souls, too.
Yes, but so we had Fisto and Clamp Champ are dead. Now everybody that was in Eternia, like Hero and all that, they're all dead too, because Evil-Lyn kills Eternia. How somehow she can kill them twice.
You can double die.
And they're double dead.
Everybody's double dead, because we have to raise the stakes. Like, well, if you can come back from the dead, we have to make sure that you can be double dead.
Hey, I will give them this one. Our complaint about She-Ra was it didn't feel like there was any real threat. I'll give them that. They make real threat. It's kind of like eye rolling sometimes, but they will at least give you a threat, and there's a lot of battle. So I'll give them that as a plus. They kill Panther. Who else they kill? They kill a bunch of people.
I don't know. Does it matter? Does any of this really matter? Because none of it's canon.
No, but she got the power because typical man, because he thinks he's gonna get laid, he'll give up his power, and they have to make these typical man jokes.
Oh God, yeah. Well, okay, so actually this does women a huge disservice, because what it tells me is that
they just want to use you to get your power.
Yeah, Evil-Lyn basically fucks her way to the top.
Well, that she did before this,
and then
they don't actually do it, by the way.
I'm sure they have before.
But I am sure that bone is very hard.
You might want to.
It's battle bone or Skeletor.
Oh my God! I can't. I literally.
You have to power down so when you screw me, you don't kill me. And I'm not kidding. That's basically what she said.
Because that's kind of a joke with Superman, because that's what he's going for here. Kevin Smith is Death of Superman. That was kind of a joke with Superman. Like, Superman has to become human so he can nail Lois Lane without killing her. Holy shit! This was garbage. This is just hot garbage.
This is all stuff that you'd think we were kidding about, but we're not. So now
you can't make this up. Like, if somebody's like, how could you completely ruin He-Man? So you bring He-Man back. You kill off He-Man. You make Adam a puss. You put Tila in charge. And then, oh yeah, and by the way, Evil-Lyn screws herself, and then she becomes like the goddess of the universe. And
of course, when that happens, your head gets shaved.
Yeah.
Right? Because, we can't have a feminine goddess of the universe. No, when she turns to Evil-Lyn, she gets all the muscles and her head somehow gets shaved.
Well, Andra becomes Man-at-Arms because she literally just shows up. Now,
she wants a family, though, so they're going to make her Man-at-Arms.
Well, she's got like a laser that cuts. I'm like, what's her... Because Clamp Champ's real name isn't Clamp Champ. And he was supposed to be the next Man-at-Arms in the 2002 series. They were gonna turn Man-at-Arms into a Snake Man, and then he was gonna take over. So what's her He-Man name? Like Scissor Sister or something?
She does it. She's like scissoring people.
Yeah.
With her lasers. I better clarify.
With her lasers.
I better clarify. But the way this show has been going, who the hell knows? So go ahead. I
was gonna say this whole series is like a 3 or 4 episode arc, padded out with a bunch of crying. Mm-hmm. And a bunch of fan service that doesn't really resonate.
It's like an expensive therapy session.
It is. It's like, it's all therapy. Like, there's a whole episode of Evil-Lyn just like, going on about her relationship issues with Skeletor and I Don't Need No Man and freaking Adam crying and his dad crying and everybody's crying. Everybody just fucking cries. Like Kevin Smith.
Oh, yeah. And then you only get him as Savage He-Man for like the end of one episode and the beginning of another. That's it. And then he, but like I said, he's going around killing, poor Manticores for no reason. And now, so the whole Tila thing. Speaking of entitled women with shaved heads. So then we got Tila. And I'm sorry, Sarah Michelle Gellar's voice does not work for Tila. It annoys the hell out of me. It sounds like, every Barbie cheerleader ever trying to do the voice. I'm sorry, you're great as Buffy. Doesn't work in this. And now she's mad because Sorceress is her mom, but her mom gave up everything. So now Tila's going to be the sorceress, but of course she's got to do it her way, which means she gets to leave the castle. Sorceress was bound to the castle because she gave up everything.
That makes no sense.
So she gave up Tila as a baby and Duncan and everything, even though that wasn't her dad in the original. And to have the power to be a sorceress, to give it all up to protect. And so they tell this whole backstory about Tila and her mom and everything else. This whole thing can be summed up in backstory and a little bit of battle. And so she has to give up everything to be a sorceress, but she's like, I'm ready until she gets in the water. And then she's like, no, I'm going to do it both. I'm going to be, the power of my friends gives me the power of friendship, gives me the power that I can be the best sorceress ever and leave the castle and not be tethered here. So somehow she's now sorceress, but she's not bound to the castle. She can leave the castle.
Because she wants to.
Because she's the best sorceress ever.
So why couldn't the other sorceress do that?
I don't...
Where the hell is Zodak? Why is Zodak? Because Zodak would have something to do with this, I think.
But he's not there.
Cosmic threat. Like, okay, they've got all these Easter eggs for fans and toy line, all that. All this cosmic level shit is going on. Zodak is the cosmic enforcer. He's the guy that kind of watches everything. And where the fuck is Zodak?
Yeah.
In all this? Yeah, like he can get his ass down here in his magic chair and be like, stop this shit now.
Well, it doesn't matter because even above him is this cosmic power that's going to align. The planets are going to align and give whoever has the power all the power.
Like the Dark Crystal.
Right. It was Skeletor and then Evil-Lyn gets it. So she's going to get all the power and she's going to use it to destroy the world because she thinks that it's all chaos and death and that's all it is. But Tila comes in and shows her that, no, she only saw part of the picture. The rest of the picture is it was rebirth and then everything was live again because of the sorceress and magic. And which makes Evil-Lyn suddenly decide that she's going to be on their side now. I mean, then you have the He-Man. Okay, the one part was kind of interesting, I thought, was that you have Adam and Skeletor working together to try to stop Evil-Lyn. Which, Skeletor was going to turn on him and do something stupid. I mean, how dumb is He-Man? He gives him back his Skelegod powers. How effing stupid is Adam?
What the hell? What the hell? There's so many what the hell moments. I'm like, and look, the animation's not bad, but this whole show was just like, what the fuck am I watching? Literally, I sat there like, what the fuck am I watching?
Well, the battles went on too long. It was like, but there's more battle. And it gets to a place where your eye rolling and you're like, is this over yet?
Yeah, by the time we got to the end battle, which, is kind of, there were some cool parts, right? But by the time we got there, I'm just like, I don't give a shit anymore.
Mm-mm.
Like, I was out as soon as they started crying. And it wasn't just like a one-off. It was like, no. We have to spend an entire episode going through our daddy issues and our mommy issues and our relationship issues.
Right. And, yeah. And it's like, and it's mostly about the women, and the women are the most powerful.
Yes, that's the takeaway. Yeah.
Oh my God, it hurts. And they found a way to bring Skelegod back for the army. So they destroyed Eternia, and now they bring all the dead people, all the villains of the underworld back to fight. And then Orko shows up. So Orko, because he was in the underworld too, so he shows up and he saves King Randor, and he saves them. He stops Evil-Lyn kind of and gets a sword back to He-Man. Which I will say, I thought it was cool that they got Orko in there giving the sword back to He-Man. I did like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool because I always liked Orko. And I thought it was cool that they got the sword back to him. He was the one that got the sword back to Adam. But, and he's like, you're in trouble now, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, I almost felt like they killed Orko just because they didn't like it. Because Kevin Smith has made comments before. He didn't like Orko. He thinks everybody else hates Orko. So they killed Orko just to get him out of the way because they didn't know what to do with him.
Mm-hmm. Then they bring him back for the end.
For the very end, like, okay, we don't have to suffer through Orko.
But and he actually can suddenly be as competent now and was able to get the bubble spell to work this time. And stuff like that. But I actually liked Orko. Orko was cool. And then when everybody gets sent back to the underworld, Evil-Lyn makes sure Orko doesn't go to the underworld.
Because apparently you can stop people from going to hell just by holding their hand.
Right. And don't you know that even though she caused all of this we don't even know if Eternia is put back.
I don't know.
She caused all this trouble and did all this stuff. And it was basically a temper tantrum because she felt like everybody, no one was on her side but her. She decided to be good at the end. And so, that means we let her go because she's clearly good now. And now she's got her long white hair and she's got this pretty little outfit and she's up in the Mystic Mountains and she's, I think it was Mystic Mountains, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And she's up there doing her Evil-Lyn thing, or no, it's Evil-Lyn now probably, things.
So, I still can't get past her origin. Her origin was her parents were going to fucking eat her.
Seriously.
And they had cutlery in hand and they were chasing her around the house and she left home. Two origins. Filmation, it was they never actually did the episode, but she was actually supposed to be an astronaut like Marlena. She was Evil-Lyn, and Beastman was actually her assistant. And then they came to Eternia too, and I guess they never did that. But then in the 2002, like her dad was a super powerful being, and she did have, she was definitely kind of traitorous, but she wasn't a bad person. In this one though, she tried to destroy the universe. If there was ever a case.
And she killed Panther.
Right?
There was no reason to do that. I was upset about that more than anything.
If there was ever a case to like execute someone publicly for the entire universe to see, this would have been it. I don't care if your parents tried to fucking eat you. You tried to destroy the universe, burn everybody down.
Panther. You don't kill kitties.
God, this show's aggravating. God, it's so I wasn't going to watch it. Let's
skip to the end. So we get to the end, and of course, it took Tila and Adam, which I was a little bit happy to see that. Sorceress and He-Man working together, which I thought was cool.
I have a sneaking suspicion that the ending of this show was changed.
But we don't know that,
because of the backlash. Because I don't know. There's something, it doesn't seem like this is where they were going with it. It seems like it's like, oh, by the way, it's kind of like in the G.I. Joe movie, originally Duke was supposed to die, but they added dialogue at the end that Duke was going to be okay because there's such a massive backlash toward Optimus Prime dying in the Transformers movie. They're like, oh, we can't do that twice. People are going to stop buying the toys. So like, oh, yeah, by the way, Tila and He-Man are going to work together and it's all going to be good.
Well, they did do that where they worked together, and I actually liked that part. I thought that was cool. They took them both to stop what was done, which I thought was good. But now we've got a sorceress who is more powerful than any sorceress ever because she could actually leave Castle Grayskull.
Yeah.
And now she's hanging at the castle. But here, this is where it gets weird too. So at the end, they make Andra Man-at-Arms.
Yeah, and she
shaves her head because
she has to.
Clearly, apparently, that's a requirement.
Man-at-Arms.
Oh, and something else about the military. Let's talk about this for a minute. How come they have all the villagers and the people that live on Eternia, and they have all different kinds of races of people, right? Or like different creatures, right? But when it comes to the military and when it comes to the royal family, it's all like human people. It's like humans.
Because Star Wars.
So are they like? Yeah, I was like, I bet, do they have a thing against? Is there like some kind of
racist?
Is there some kind of racism going on here?
Yeah, he's a total racist.
That people are good enough to be ruled, but they're not good enough to be in the military. I mean, that's an aside. I'm just saying. But at the end, suddenly Sorceress is there. Andra's made Man-at-Arms. I knew they would do something with Andra, so she's Man-at-Arms. She didn't get to be the champion, which I'm glad they didn't go there.
They were building her role up to be much bigger in the first part than the second part. Because she was kind of sidelined in the second part. I could be wrong, but I've got a feeling that they might have kind of switched gears halfway through the show when they saw what the reaction was going to be like.
When we accidentally dropped the bomb on Twitter.
Yeah.
And Kevin Smith. Well, actually, we just put a little ember on there, and he's the one who threw gasoline on it. And at the end, they have Adam's up on the roof with Tila, sorceress now, talking about how they're going to work together with this fabulous secrets, but they're not going to be secrets anymore. She's going to tell everybody the secrets because she doesn't believe in secrets. Because as we've seen a couple times, that she's a big whiner about secrets. And then she calls him my hero, and they're holding hands. Oh, and his face looked like he had blush on, like he was like blushing.
That was not hinted at or alluded to in the first part at all. Mm-mm. And Andra had a much bigger role. I'm just saying, like, it feels like they were going in one direction with it, and they're like, oh shit, people might not like this. Let's,
Right, because even like Hero and stuff is supposed to be like their kid, and stuff. Yeah. Like it was always kind of implied.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's how that's not how it ends completely. So then we go back to the cult. Remember the cult from the first episode?
Did,
the cult. Well, now we're at the cult. And it's that Motherboard says, and Skeletor's like, oh, Motherboard's a joke, and tries to blast it, which it gets deflected, and then it transforms. It's a little transformer. It transforms from a bird into a sorceress type character.
Yep.
And then because it was a bird, and then it injects him with the nanobots or whatever.
Yeah.
There goes the horde symbol.
Yeah, there.
Yeah. So
There we go.
Yeah. So that's how it ended. Like they were trying to set their sequel. For the love of God, do not give these people a sequel.
Do not do anymore. And I know some people are getting excited. I saw some folks that follow us actually getting excited, like, oh, they're going to bring She-Ra and do She-Ra right. I'm like, do you really think Kevin Smith, of all people, is going to do She-Ra right? Mm-hmm. Especially since they have a live-action She-Ra show coming to Amazon. I think the rights are still split. I think if they bring the Horde into it, we're going to have the Horde without She-Ra.
Right.
Because they've already established in this continuity, which again is not a sequel to Filmation. There are so many reasons why it's not a sequel to Filmation.
They said it was. They said it's its own thing.
Yeah. That She-Ra is not a thing because there would be another sword, and there isn't. So I don't think She-Ra, they might bring the Horde into it, but they're not going to do anything with She-Ra.
No one wants a good She-Ra more than I do. Trust me. Nobody wants a good She-Ra more than I do. And I don't think this would be the way the people to put it, the hands to put it in. If it wasn't for like the lame ass, some of the comments, like Evil-Lyn calls Duncan impotent.
Oh my God.
Like,
a lot of sex jokes in there.
Yeah. And it's just like, what? And a lot of making sure men are so easy. I could take their power because men just want to get laid. And Duncan, haha, the biggest insult I have is I'm gonna be better than your wife and you're impotent. I'm like, there's clearly an agenda here. And in the original, look, I like the battles and it gets fun. But in the original show, it has hokey lines, as did this. But it was still fun, and it was still like, it was exciting, but it was fun. Gets to the place where it's just like,
it's not
holy
fun.
shit, I feel like I should be getting paid to watch this as their therapist.
Yeah, it's not fun.
And it doesn't end. It's like, is it over yet? Is it over yet?
Like, we were watching actually some of the CGI He-Man last night before this one, and yeah, there are some lines in there that are kind of like, oh boy, but again, that show knows what it is. It's a show for kids, and it's consistent throughout the whole, like, the tone is pretty consistent. And there are some dark parts or whatever, but it's consistent. This thing is like all over the fucking place. Like, I have no idea who this show is for, what this show is for. I mean, you're alienating a lot of the old school fans.
And then where do you come in if you're a new fan? You don't. You have to kind of have a history.
And even then, it doesn't matter anyway, because this is not a sequel to the Filmation show. There are nods to it, as much as I think they can get away with it without being sued by whoever has the rights right now to Filmation. But it's not a sequel to the Filmation show.
No. And at the end of the day, I mean, they do give you He-Man back at the end. You have He-Man at the beginning. You do get He-Man back at the end.
It's a He-Man sandwich.
And you got Tila Sorceress. So Tila was always going to be Sorceress, because there are going to be the people who are going to be like, oh my God, you're just mad because Tila got to be Sorceress. Tila was always supposed to be Sorceress. Always. That was, we expected that. I mean, everybody, that was a given, Evil-Lyn being Evil-Lyn, that came out of nowhere. That one I did not see coming at all. I thought it was going to be Andra. Actually, the Evil-Lyn looks much better. But it's still a mess.
It's a mess.
And how she got the power was literally she got Skeletor to take his power down so she could, because he thought she was going to take his pants off and ride him. That's why he took his power down.
He doesn't wear pants. He has more of some picket fencing, like a purple picket fence on his crotch. And he has fur panties underneath those.
You think those are panties? I'm just saying. It's just like, I mean, there were some clever ideas here, but it was just for every kind of quasi good thing that I was like, okay, that's okay, that's cool. There was like 10 others that was like, what the hell are you doing? I mean,
I about fell on my chair a couple of times with it. The whole like
boner Skeletor.
Like, oh my God! So Evil-Lyn fucks her way to the becoming master.
But this is about empowering women.
Fucking your way to the top. That's how you empower women.
Well, it worked for some women in power.
Oh God, I can't. Don't make any more of this, Netflix. Just don't. Just stop. Just stop.
And like I said, for every good idea they had, and I'm not saying everything was bad. It wasn't all bad.
There were some good scenes.
Yeah, and for every good idea they had, or a good idea they wanted to explore, they did. There was ways they found to ruin it.
Yeah, hard pass.
Too late. We already saw it.
Yeah. Anyway, what's interesting though, it's going to be interesting to see what the fan reaction is. But remember how there were articles out there that fans were review bombing the Rotten Tomatoes page, had 32% audience score. Yeah, the audience score is missing.
Oh yeah.
Now, it's missing.
So now you're not allowed to even say anything if you're a fan.
Yeah.
It's been protected for whatever reason. But the critic score is still there. Modernized and successful. No. Smith pushed the pedal to the metal, enriching the mythos with humor and heart. Oh, that wasn't humor and heart.
They're all positive.
You knew how to tell a story? Wait, all 5 of them? There's literally 5. Did they just not open it for audience yet because they're waiting because it's the second half? Because all the old critic scores are gone too. Oh no, there's one 6 hours ago. What it says there was no.
Yeah,
but it's a 5-star.
I love this new vision.
I can't wait for the next season. There isn't a next. Oh, wait. Now there isn't a next season approved, but the first comment is a 5-star. Do they have any account? And they did I can't wait for the next season. What else do they have reviewed? Nothing. They've reviewed nothing, and no other scores are here.
Yeah,
no other scores are here, but this Jose, who loves the new version and can't wait for the next season that no one knew was supposed to be happening.
Jose's getting a mug. In a letter.
From Netflix, yeah. Yeah, we don't. We're gonna get probably a flaming box of dog shit. But it's okay. Tit for tat, I guess. I had to watch a flaming box of dog shit.
This review was positive, but look at the headline. The reboot puts He-Man in the back seat where his face belongs. It's a success. No, it's not. It's not a success.
It's a success because we're going to make sure we manipulate the narrative, just like they did with everything else.
This show is very much like current year DC and Marvel comics, where they upend things for the sake of upending them. They make classic characters look bad for the sake of making them look bad. And they inject real-world politics into a series that doesn't need real-world politics.
And I mean, like I said, again, everything wasn't bad. The whole idea of making, Evil-Lyn, Evil-Lyn. It was actually not a bad idea, but they promised Skeletor, and you got literally Evil-Lyn was the main bad guy for the whole second half.
Another bait and switch.
Right. So, and they have some good ideas, and they have for every moment of good, that's like, okay, that's actually, I kind of like that. I'm kind of on board with that. Then they turn around and destroy it, like right after, and it's like, what are you thinking? And you might like it, and that's okay. If you like it, you are allowed to like this. You are more than allowed to like this. But you know what? Every people who don't like it are more than allowed to not like it. And that's the problem. Because it's all these people like, well, if you don't like it, just don't say anything then. And no, I'm going to say something. Because I'm tired of being told, here, you have to take this shit sandwich and eat it and say nothing and like it because I like it. If you don't, you're a terrible person.
Kevin Smith was obviously high when he pitched this. I think everybody in that room was smoking something.
Well, you can tell he's really, really excited about his own ideas.
Yeah, but they're not He-Man. I mean, that's the thing. This is coming from a guy who admitted on several occasions he's not a fan of He-Man, and it shows. Mm-hmm. It shows. It's like, okay, here's a story I want to tell that I wanted to tell. I want to make it Superman. Metal,
but I don't. But that's what they all keep losing. They want to tell these stories with these characters, these franchises, but they lose they lose the heart of what makes them, resonate with people, and their requests. And the thing is, they could have done some of these same ideas and done it in a way that didn't lose what it was. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And they don't. And I mean, like I said, there's some good ideas here. It's not, the execution isn't great. And then they find ways to ruin it. I won't watch it again. Some people might like it, and that's completely cool. You're allowed to.
People aren't going to get to the end of the video where you say you're not allowed to.
Doesn't matter. I can say at the beginning, they still say that I'm hate. All you do is hate on things. Well, I'm sorry. This one made it so easy.
Oh, the thumbnail reviewers. They're like, I saw your thumbnail, and I know exactly what your video is about, you haters.
But they're going to be mad because what you're going to put the thumbnail is going to do a spoiler, and they're going to be pissed about that.
That's the main villain of the whole fucking thing. Mm-hmm. If I don't spoil it, somebody else is going to.
But, but as soon as they did literally the first 2 episodes was crying all the time. And then we had Skeletor losing his powers because he was going to bone Evil-Lyn.
I can't fucking.
And at that point, we're just
I can't even with this.
And then Tila's a better sorceress than her mom. Oh, she also gives it back to her mom because she does her whining thing like she did to Adam. You're dead, but what about me? You give up all the power. You give up all your power and all your family. You give all your family and everything to protect everybody and control the power. But what about me?
She doesn't even need He-Man. She's gonna keep He-Man like a pet.
Tila can't be the sorceress because even then, Tila is not the sorceress in the way that everybody else was. She finds a way that she can still keep it all about herself and all about her feelings and her friends and still can be a sorceress, but somehow be a better sorceress than everybody.
So literally, Tila sacrifices nothing.
Yes.
And gets everything.
Yes.
That is basically the theme of this show. Tila sacrifices nothing and she gets everything.
That's right. But at least they brought He-Man back in the very end.
She doesn't need him.
No.
They'll kill him off if they do another season.
They brought him back. So I'll give them that. They made sure He-Man. So you got to see He-Man. And they're like, well, it's not called He-Man, the Masters of the Universe. It's called Masters of the Universe Revelation. It's like, yes, but you were banking on fandom that's lasted for 30 plus years on a show that was about He-Man.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.